Everybody, Brian Good here. Here's part one of today's Snow Talk. It'll be part one of several, the way it's looking. I just want to address some of the basic stuff. I'm not going to go hardcore into the data yet. We've got several conference calls today we're going to be on. One of those will be blogged about, by the way, later on today around 1:30. And then we'll go from there on the data that's rolling in, because there's been some changes and flipping around, and we don't want to flip too much based on models. Because, again, models are just tools. All right, they're not the say-all of what's going to happen. All right, they are not the exact forecast. If you trust the model exactly and go with its exact details, then you're going to run into problems, and a lot of mistakes can happen. So we got to look at all the data, and then we consult together and try to decide what is best. And based on the history from all of us growing up here, what normally has happened in this scenario, and kind of get a better handle on it. And that's something that we're going to be doing this afternoon. So stay tuned for more adjustments. But we will say right off the bat, winter storm warning, of course, as you haven't heard yet, is in effect for a good chunk of wave country, including far southern Indiana. And then on the northern edge, it's a winter storm watch, just in case this does shift northward. If everything holds as is, then I would suspect that a lot of you in the winter storm watch area may be downgraded to a winter weather advisory. But we will watch and see how that plays out. The storm itself, still in two pieces. One piece right here. See that spin in Kansas? Right here into Louisiana is where the main surface low is. This is going to move down, combine together, and it's that collision. It's that formation of the storm that's the questionable part, because once it forms, then we'll have a really good idea on the track. But right now the models are varying on this piece, on how it's acting and where it's going to be when it joins in Louisiana. And that's the reason why you're seeing a shift to the north, and a shift to the south, and a shift to the north, and a shift to the south. Is this piece is the one that's varying the most, not so much this one. And until we see these two kind of congeal together, that is really going to keep the confidence on the track on the low side, in my opinion. But we will see how this plays out. I'll show you our RPM model, which is changing by the hour, but here's how this lay stands. I will say right off the bat, you missed it there, but it says that right now we should be 30, or actually 29 degrees, and we're only about 22, 23, so we're already this model's too warm, and it's because of the snowpack. Models do bad with that, so it's not too surprising, and pretty cloudy. We may see a little sun, but more clouds. All right, here's the timing. Tomorrow morning, that's when we start to see the freeze and rain break out. It looks like dynamic cooling is going to take over rapidly. Any freeze and rain and sleet should go quickly over to snow in our southern tier of counties. So this may limit the icing, and that's something we've got to look at as well. We may be too high on some of these icing forecasts. It may be more snow than ice, and that's something to factor in, because that will affect your general snow amount and when the overall event is over. Then as we head toward 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Louisville gets in on the action. These numbers probably too high at freezing. I think we'll probably be in the 20s in my opinion. Quick change over here to heavy snow. Again, you always get your heaviest snow right where the changeover is. When you get sleet, freeze, and rain, when you go over to all snow, that is where you can get some incredible snow rates that can happen 1 to 2 inches an hour. So you want to be close to the freeze and rain and snow line. You don't want to be far away from it in the deeper cold air, because your snow, the intensity of snow is probably going to be a little less. You want to be right close to the where the changeover is, and that looks to be around the parkways as it stands now. But that's something we've got to fine tune. Wherever we're going to see that changeover or the freeze and rain area, that is the area to watch for substantial snow potentially developing, and that's a challenge we're going to have. Even as we head into Friday night, we're still dealing with snow. It should be all snow at this point, by the way, but still accumulating. Not as heavy, but it's still accumulating at this point. In fact, it takes until almost midday Saturday to shut down the snow machine. I want to show you a couple of the soundings here. This is the high res of the NAM model. Again, you read this right to left in time. What you're looking at on the far left, I know it's hard to read, are snow ratios, 5 to 1, 10 to 1, 15 to 1. The blue line is the snow ratio line, and these are the blue bars, which you pay attention to as far as the amount of snow that is falling during that time. Ignore the gray ones here. Altogether for Louisville, it's hard to read, but it's giving us a 10.4. It shows about 13.6 falls, but some of that is lost, and it could be either in a transition area, or it could be because of dry air, and the saturation may eat away some of that. So about 10 inches according to the NAM high res. You go to Lexington. Wow, Lexington. Right around 10 to 12 to 1 initially, then you go up toward the end, but it's 16.9. Do not share this map, or I'll come after you, by the way. That's just a one model idea. And then you go to Madison, Indiana. Madison, Indiana! I mean, not that far, right up the road. 1.4 inches of snow. it's that sharp cutoff. To be honest with you guys, it has me nervous. Because if we do see this shift to the south that some of the models are hinting at so far become more reality, then Louisville's going to be in that 1 inch. And a lot of you can be really upset. All right, so we're trying our best to nail this, but our fear in trying to do the snow map is the cutoff is going to be so dramatic that somebody is going to be lost out and someone's going to see a bust. It's almost inevitable in this kind of setup. But we're going to try our best to nail down who's going to be in the best area, the low end, and who's going to get the heavier snow. So be patient. Just know we are watching it very, very carefully. All right, that's enough for right now. I'll do part 2 later on tonight. We got a lot to look through. I don't want to get into too much detail. All right. Again, conference call blogging will begin at 1:30. I'll see you then.